Welcome to our channel. Anne, a lay apostle, has recorded 5 new locutions from Jesus and 6 new locutions from Our Lady. As always, we are privileged to receive these words and are called to receive them with the greatest of reverence and gravity. Please help to circulate these messages widely. The 9th new locution from Jesus is below. The remaining 2 will be sent out 1 per day. You can download and print the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th and 8th new locutions at the Direction for Our Times website. Now here is the message from Mary, Mother, Disciple, and Queen of the Church, 9 of 11, February 13, 2023. How do I intercede for the world at this time? Much of that will depend on the prayers of my children. How do you ask me to intercede? If you are studying me, you will ask for peace. You will ask me to help protect people from the grave abominations present as the enemy seeks to defile innocence. If you know me, you will ask me for unity in our church and you will ask that those who work against unity be halted in their plans. You will ask me for help in the protection of the seed of Peter. Surely you ask me to send sublime holiness to all men who rest in that seat. If you study me, you are asking me to help those suffering during these times, which feature apocalyptic changes for mankind. If you study me and know me, you know that I work freely in God's power, using my influence to bring His hopes into the world, especially His hopes for mercy. Thus, you ask me for your children, your parents, your siblings. You ask me for virtue, for triumph over vice and addiction of all sorts. You rely on me to obtain gifts from the Holy Spirit for your interests and goals. If you know me, you feel safe and loved, even as you recognize the changes occurring in your world. If you know me, then you know that the enemy of God is also my enemy and that the enemy can never prevail in a world created by God. Thus, you are confident. Do I possess a human following? The question makes me smile, but yes, I do. My followers are those who love my Son, those who follow Him and seek to serve Him. They follow me because I was the first disciple of Jesus, the Christ. I followed Jesus with excellence in discipleship. Anyone who knew Him and loved Him followed Him in excellence of discipleship because of their great love for Him. This does not mean they followed Him perfectly. They each followed Him differently. But they tried to grow as they understood Him better and they gained strength in their discipleship over time. Often, they came to know Jesus better through the companionship of other followers. This companionship was crucial. The followers of Jesus Christ today are the same. They follow Jesus imperfectly, but they try to grow, and they gain strength over time if they are encouraged. Can our Catholic Church say that people find encouragement in the prescriptions currently practiced? When people experience their human failure, throwing themselves on the mercy of our Church, do we offer God's understanding and allow them to begin again as they privately sift through the mystery of their conditions? Or do we instead bind them to a reality which holds them in contempt and exclusion? We in the Church on earth often act beyond our authority when we insist that our teachings prompt either contempt or exclusion. Who is the first healer in our Catholic Church? You can practice Catholicism and remain imperfect. You are each evidence of that truth. And yet, for many, we reserve the harshest of judgments by telling them that their circumstances exclude them from direct connection with God and the Eucharist. Their circumstances are no match for God's mercy and no match for a mother's care and concern. Where humanity has failed them, often creating the very circumstances they are judged for, the Church should receive them in compassion. And yet, we allow judgments to be made which are not ours to make as an assembly. The developed prescription of our Church should not presume to know the condition of the heart of any person. The full knowledge of any person's condition is possessed only by God. The role of perfect judge, also, remains safely within the domain of my Son. The space between judgment and mercy must always veer toward mercy when a human being is called to make a determination about another human being. This will please God, who initiated our assembly partially as a response to cruel human judgments made in His name. Please do not think I act against Christ when I illuminate the failures of our Church on earth. I illuminate the failures of our church on earth on behalf of Christ, with Christ, and from within the love of the Trinity for all of us. This is often my role. If we are merciful, like Christ, we will come to recognize that Catholics who desire communion with Christ should be encouraged to receive Him in humility. If they are not humble, that is between their conscience and the all-powerful Spirit of God. If they secretly mock the presence of Christ in the Eucharist, believe that God Himself will manage that state of affairs. Believe, please, that the most hardened sinner can come to see the contrast between that which they receive in the Eucharist, perfect love, and that which they entertain in their heart. Then that person must choose. We cannot presume to make choices for others, nor deny the process, which is often needed, or the reality that these choices are made within the privacy of the human heart. I am your mother. I am also the mother of this Catholic Church, and its Queen. Do not, I beg of you, take these words or this warning lightly. Receive these words and these warnings with the maturity necessary to ponder deeply the corrective measures required to renew our Church and bring it closer to the Church Jesus Christ established through Peter. There will only be one Catholic Church. Will you remain faithful to it, despite the forces which seek to damage it? Thank you for watching. Please return for more videos like this.